a small issue with it. So I don't know.
People are awful.
People can be awful, but that's the thing. You need
that.
Well, that's what they want on your shows across all over, because you have so many different ones you're competing against in the morning talk shows. You have Fox, you have NBC Sports, you have CBS Sports, you have ESPN, and then you have even more out there, Mad Dog in the morning and whatnot. And there's just going to be one person that they're going to be like, okay, you just be contrarian just to be contrarian. Don't give them what they want or what they're doing. So
we writing off Chris Paul from ever getting an NBA championship?
he's 37 years old. Phoenix kind of, I don't want to say they lucked into it, but break it down, the West was kind of beat up.
Yeah.
All right. So, is Phoenix going to come back is the thing. It's not, is Chris Paul going to win a championship? Maybe he could if he's later on in the years, but is Phoenix going to go back? I mean, you've still got the Lakers. You've got the Clippers. Golden State's going to get better.
Yeah.
I don't know what Portland's doing out there or anything like that.
And they're still not going to be too far off of Ben Simmons.
No.
Can
Utah was solid. Denver was good.
Chris Paul had the best record, didn't they, in the West?
I don't know if Chris Paul's going to get that title that you speak of. It's just, I don't know if
Denver as well, Dallas with Luka.
Yep, there you go. And so, like I said, I just don't know if that's going to happen.
And that's not even mentioning the Bucks and the Sixers and the Nets and the Hawks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have to go through all that. And let's say DeAndre Ayton, Booker, they just didn't have the size to go up against Giannis.
DeAndre Ayton looked small last night. Did you watch that game?
Yes.
I was shocked. He needs to put some weight on and gain some muscle. He looks like a big guy, but he looked tiny last night. I did not realize how much smaller he was than Giannis. Which I know Giannis is a freak and he's a lot bigger than a lot of people, but I thought Ayton would be able to. He even looked overmatched with Brook Lopez at times.
We're going to take a look at that about Giannis and more. Today we're also going to, we got a little bit, not so much, but just talk a little bit about the Olympics. We didn't even talk about Cam Akers' injury yesterday.
No, we did not.
We also have, at 12:30, we're going to talk to Mike out at Hidden Hills, put together a DFS for golf. At 1:30, we're going to talk to Emily Van Buskirk. We're going to talk to her about not the NIL and name, image, and likeness, and as well what's going on out in Oakland. She's very well versed in it. So you want to do this real quick, and we'll come back and we talk to Emily because she's just gonna. I know she'll have an opinion over too. Just in passing, at a Texas high school, it was yesterday at a Texas high school coaches little gathering. Nick Saban drops the 7 figures for a quarterback who's not even starting yet.
Yeah, real quick.
This is genius of him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pure genius.
He's the one that leaked this out there?
He said, basically, it's this is what I heard, the quote, and it's not in the ESPN article. He said that he was talking about the name, image, and likeness and how you can do things, and he said, Bryce Young, for example, and I'm paraphrasing, has not even thrown a ball for Alabama. So basically, he's not the starter. But he's making endorsements or whatever deals up to 7 figures. So he didn't say $1 million. He said 7 figures. And then he drops, all because of our brand. And how genius is that to throw that out there, not Bryce Young, Alabama.
Like people didn't already want to go to Alabama.
I know, but now the Texas coaches are going to go back, and now this all comes out. If you break it down, he said, and this is all because of our brand. Doesn't say Bryce Young is the guy. It's all because of our brand. That's the little thing at the end that you need to know. That's the hook. That's the bait is Bryce Young and the 7 figures. The hook is when he said, because of our brand. Genius. You can say what you, and I'm not a Nick Saban guy, but when I heard that he just said, because of our brand, I'm like, God, how great is that?
I feel like you would be a Nick Saban guy, not a Nick Saban guy.
No.
Just tired of seeing him?
Yeah. No,
Right.
I don't like the idea that you can do. I mean, he was at Michigan State. He was at LSU. Then he goes to Miami, and he can't motivate paid professionals to do it. He can only threaten people with scholarships and whatnot down in Alabama. So
It's working.
It's working.
It's
yeah.
working.
Yeah, he's getting paid for it.
Is this the guy going to be the starter this year?
He has not been named the starter.
Not been named the starter,
Yes.
which I know they kind of do some funky stuff down there with their quarterbacks a little
but
bit.
they'll be in there, whatever else. So, but he went on to he was on an ESPN show on Wednesday morning, and he was just talking about the NIL, and he said he just knows that he doesn't know how things are going to go, but he said, quote, everything that we've done in college athletics in the past has been equal. Everybody's had equal scholarships, equal opportunity. Now, that's probably not going to be the case. Some positions, some players have more opportunities than others. How's that going to impact your team, our team, the players on the team? I really can't answer because we don't have any precedent for it. So he just went on to say later, just they have to educate the kids. And, I mean...
Yeah, the team's putting people in place to help these kids manage this money. You got to think some teams have brought people in.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, because it's going to be a dumpster fire if that's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, you're an 18-year-old kid who's buying $250,000 home on campus just
for fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to use it in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Just if you're down south and your best buddy is a 5-star college quarterback, just to start taking those economic classes in college and just be like, how about I just manage your money for you, and we'll put together a portfolio. Because if you can't get it, if you can't do it, might as well manage the money for them because they are going to need it.
No, I didn't even think about that. There's going to be so many people that are already going to be like hired, their buddies.
Oh, yeah.
I took this.
They're going to have entourages and posses and everything else going on. There's no doubt about that. They're going to have groups for it. It's going to be crazy. Like we were saying last night, Bucks beat the Suns 105-98 in Game 6 to capture the franchise's first NBA championship since 1971. Giannis was 16-25 from the field, 17 from 19 from free throws. He had 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, 2 assists to go along with 50 points in 42 minutes. So,
and that's how you win Finals MVP right there.
Mm-hmm. He was spotted as a 13-year-old playing soccer, and he was convinced to try a different sport. That's how he got into basketball. And did you see the stat where they showed him when he was drafted? He still grew 3 more feet afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 more inches, not 3 feet. Yeah. So, yeah. Like I said before, he's the 7th NBA player to score 50 points in the finals. LeBron James, last 2 most recent, LeBron James in 2018, Michael Jordan in 1993. So, averaged 35-13 and 5 assists and almost 2 blocks in it. So, it's we know we talked yesterday about the referee Scott Foster, how
0 for 13.
Yep. And I don't know what's going on. Devin Booker's going to head off to Tokyo to go play.
Yep.
With Middleton and Drew Holiday, right? To join Team USA. And like I was saying earlier, the Nets are still the favorite. They opened up as plus 225. The Lakers at plus 400 and the Bucks at plus 900 right now. So
the Nets opened up as the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to assume everybody's going to come back healthy. There's going to be no setbacks.
Oh, all right. We got a quick phone call. You're on the air, ESPN 1170. Who we got?
JR.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good. How you been, man?
Doing well. Yourself?
Not too bad. Hey, I just had a quick question. Maybe you knew a little more insight. And I was watching some of the Olympic softball last night.
Yep.
And they have the girls playing on a baseball field.
Okay.
Why are they not playing on a regulation softball diamond? This is the Olympics. This is an 8U softball.
It's a great question, and one I'm going to have to look into for you. Do you think? I mean, right now, because I have you on the phone, and I can only recklessly speculate, it could have something to do with weather, because I know they were really worried about typhoons going on there, along with the heat and humidity that's going on. But I will have to look into that for you. I caught the tail end of the 2-0 victory, so I wasn't watching it from the beginning.
All right. Well, anything you can find out, I'd appreciate it. I think it's kind of ridiculous. They got the Olympic softball girls playing on a wrong field as far as I'm concerned. So,
yeah, I'll take a look at. So, yeah, I'll take a look into it. We are going to go commercial break here soon, so I'll do some research into it and get back to you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no
Have
problem, man.
day.
Good eye. Thanks, man.
See you guys.
Yep.
Bye.
I tried to take a quick look, and it doesn't seem to be popping up anything just right away. That is kind of absurd.
Yeah, I got near the end of it last inning. Sixth inning, and then it was the 2-0 and watched her.
Is there anything to do with possibly like their softball fields look different over there than ours?
I don't know. This is actually the baseball and softball have been gone from the Olympics since 2008, so they're now making their return. So I don't know why it would be that way. The worst part about that is that's not a good look, considering the softball and the Women's College World Series, and I know it's just the Women's College World Series is not on a international format, but how much they had been pointed out, lack of locker rooms and hitting areas or whatever else, and then we have something on the biggest amateur stage of all, and they're not playing on their own field. So we will have to take a look at that. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to look that up, and then when we come back, we're also going to make a phone call to Mike at Hidden Hills. We've got a lot more to talk about here. ESPN 1170 AM, Don't Hassle Us, we're local.
This is WQAD's Matt Randazzo, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
The real estate market is always tough. But this market, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. When the average home stays on the market just 24 days and houses routinely go for more than the listing price, who you work with matters. Realtors have the expertise, local knowledge, and personal touch to give you a competitive advantage throughout the entire home buying process. And that's something an ordinary agent could never do. So make sure your agent is a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Tyson Fresh Meats in Joslin wants you to join their team. If you're a motivated individual, this is the career for you. They have immediate openings in general production. Pay begins up to $20 per hour with daily attendance incentives and a $3,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today to get your $3,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $3,000 sign-on bonus. Go to TysonFoods.com/careers. Feed your future with Tyson Fresh Meats. Join the fun in downtown Davenport at the Bix Block Parties. Bix Weekend, July 23rd and 24th. Enjoy a wide variety of local food, drinks, live music, activities, and more. Bix Block Parties are supported by the Downtown Davenport Partnership with the goal to celebrate downtown neighborhoods with multiple blocks of events programmed by local business owners throughout downtown. Sponsored by this station. Parties, bridge to bridge. See you at the Bix Block Parties, July 23rd and 24th. Visit downtowndavenport.com for more details.
Janae and Golick Jr.
There are not a lot of places that actually get to claim a cartoon leprechaun. I am one of those places here. And so if anyone should understand what the Boston Celtics faithful, because I saw Big Baby Davis, I think Kevin Garnett, both spoke out defending Lucky after Kyrie Irving just went too far and stomped on him at half court of TD Garden. I think it's pretty fair to say I love Notre Dame more than most people love anything. Like, it's a weird obsession. Notre Dame's kind of like weird like that in general. And even I don't know if I missed the day they were handing out this lifelong competitive juice. I could not find it in me to get upset if another team decided to do that to the Irish. It's like I'd be more worried about the fact that we just got blowed the hell out. You can do whatever you want. Throw 40-yard touchdowns at the end of the game. If we're losing by 40, I'm sitting over there wondering why were we so bad that we lost by 40.
Janae and Golick Jr. 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
AJ here, get your t-shirts here, sweatshirts or polos here, GT Sports here, new owners, new items. I'm AJ at GT Sports, the best damn apparel shop in the Quad Cities with custom apparel, backpacks, uniforms, drinkware, hats, and much more. We are the embroidery and screen printing champions you can count on. GT Sports has it and is ready to serve you. Just down from Helium and Eldridge or find us online at GT Sportswear. GT Sports here, get your t-shirts here, sweatshirts or polos here, GT Sports here.
One Night of Queen featuring Gary Mullen and the Works is coming to the Tax Slayer Center Friday, July 23rd. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, pomp, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. This show will rock you. Tickets for the original day will be ordered for the July 23rd show. Great seats are on sale now at the Tax Slayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Julio Jones does move on. He will be with the Tennessee Titans. And Key, you were shooting it down, saying it's not a good fit.
You're looking at him and you're saying production is going to come because they're going to throw the ball. They're not going to change their style. They've gone to the AFC Championship game, a couple playoff appearances on the backs of that running back in Derrick Henry. You think about the philosophy and style that Vrabel wants to play. They want to be big up front. They want to run the football. So you trade for Julio Jones when many people think Julio Jones is on the way backside of his career based on injuries. But I don't necessarily like it for Julio, and I don't know what to make of it for the Titans because of the style of play. They're not going to be the Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not going to do that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Draft Day Sports Lounge has everything you need to enjoy all the sports action. Over 50 beer options to choose from, great food, sports betting, and a fantastic atmosphere for you and your friends to escape to. They're always adding to the menu to make sure there's the perfect option for everyone. So come visit Draft Day Sports Lounge inside Rhythm City Casino. And if you want to plan ahead, the full menu is at rhythmcitycasino.com.
The crack of the bat can be heard right here. We're talking baseball on your sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back to Don't Hassles for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Just got done with the opening segment congratulating the 2021 NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. And Giannis, boy, man. He is the, let's see, that is the 6th highest, we tied Bob Pettit with 50. There was only 5 other people that scored more points in an NBA Finals game. Elgin Baylor put up 61 in 1962. Rick Barry put up 55 in 67. Jordan put up 55 in 93. Jerry West put up 53 in 69. And LeBron James 51 in 2018.
What do you have, 50 exactly?
Yeah, he had 50 exactly. He is the most to put up 30 plus, 10 plus, or 5 plus blocks in NBA Finals games, because with the 50, he went 50, 14, and 5. And, man, just a great game for him. This will be known as, before that it was the block, but now it's going to go down as this. In baseball yesterday, the Oakland Athletics shut out the Angels 6-0. The Royals spoiled the Milwaukee Brewers a little early. Brewers maybe they started celebrating too early. 5-2, the Royals got the Brewers. The Yankees beat the Philadelphia Phillies 6-4. Nationals over the Marlins 6-3. Reds beat the Mets at home 4-3. They have a game today that's they each have won one game, so rubber match today in Cincinnati. That'll be going on this afternoon. We have I think we have 3 or 4 afternoon games today. We'll look at it in just a second. Tigers beat the Rangers 4-1. Braves 2-1 over the Padres. Rays won at home 9-3. See how this all works out. Remember yesterday when I told you that the favorites went 3-9 the day before? Now listen, look at all this. White Sox 9-5 over the Twins. Astros 9-3 over the Indians. Cubs came back against the Cardinals.
What a comeback. And it was the perfect time, too, because it happened right as the NBA Finals got over.
See?
Like, identical. Like, I changed the channel, and we got the bases loaded, and we're still down 6-1. And
Seattle Mariners 6-4 over the Rockies. Diamondbacks 11-6 over the Pirates. Dodgers 8-6 over the Giants. Yeah, what you're talking about, Ian Happ was up. It was top of the 9th, 1 out, 2-2 count, runners on first and second. And he hits a double to right field, 2-run score, and Chicago takes their win probability from 59% to 86%, and they went on to win the game 7-6. Today's game, like I said, Baltimore at the Rays already started playing right now. Also Padres and Atlanta. Mets and Cincinnati started their game as well. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Milwaukee, they'll be hungover. Will host the Kansas City Royals again. Colorado, Seattle, and Colorado, 2:10 first start. Pittsburgh at Arizona, first pitch, 2:40 there. Padres, Atlanta, 4:20 first pitch. Then we have night games after that. Philadelphia at the Yankees. Miami at Washington Nationals. Boston at Toronto. Texas at Detroit. Minnesota against the White Sox. Dylan Cease on the mound for the White Sox, 7.5 on the year, 4.15 ERA. Cleveland at Houston. The Cubs and the Cardinals continue their series, 7:15 first pitch. Kyle Hendricks on the mound, 12-4 in the year, 3.65 ERA. Adam Wainwright will be on the bump for the Cardinals, 7-6 on the year, 3.71 ERA. And the Giants and Dodgers continue their series as well. Happy birthday to CC Sabathia today. Current standings in the NL East, the New York Mets have a 2.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Milwaukee has a 6.5 game lead over Cincinnati. Giants just a 1 game lead over the Dodgers. Uh-oh. That could get interesting tonight.
That's coming.
Yeah. In the American League, Boston has a 1 game lead over Tampa Bay. New York Yankees remain 7 get back, only 4.5 out of the wild cards. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be buyers or sellers. More than likely, they cannot be sellers because no one wants to take on some of those atrocious contracts or some of those injury-filled players. But that's going to be shoved down our throats for the next week. All about the Yankees. White Sox have that 9.5 game lead in the Central, which is the largest out of all of them. And Houston has a 3.5 game lead over Oakland. All right, tomorrow we start another golf outing here. And so we're going to give Mike a call at Hidden Hills, put together some a nice little list for us, make some money. At least we're hoping for.
Hidden Hills Golf Course.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
How's it going over there?
It's going well. It's going well. Yeah, the Open was last week, and Morikawa, he went after it. He's going to be, I think he went off at I think he was plus 3,500. But that was a nice little tournament for Morikawa.
Yeah, it was. You know, that was his first Open. It's hard to believe. He feels like he's like 30-something, but he's only, 23 or 24.
Yeah, he's 24, yep. And then
that's ridiculous.
He is going to take the week off. He's not going to do the 3M Open today or this weekend in Twin Cities. He's going to head to Tokyo for the Olympics. So, but that's what we have coming up here soon. We'll talk about that in a second. How are things going out at Hidden Hills, my friend?
Yeah, really good. You know, we've got a good stretch of weather here. We had some rainy days last week, but it turned the course, made everything, brightened everything up. And no, it's just like July weather now, 90 and humid.
Yeah, we're finally used to, because we had that push for a few days where it was just rain and rain and rain. So it's good to get back to our Midwest, what we're used to in the Midwest here. So, but
for sure.
I'm sure things are going well out at Hidden Hills. You guys still have that league on Tuesday nights. You have that Spark Golf going on as well, but you have all kinds of outings, I'm sure, on the calendar for the weekends coming up.
Yep, and we do Sunday Fam Day. It's bring an adult, kid plays for free. So that's always on every Sunday through the year.
Every Sunday through the year, you bring a kid and and they play for free?
Yep. Sunday Fam Day.
Sunday Fam Day. I know what you're trying to do there. Yeah, I got it. I got it the first time, and then the second time, yeah. So the Sunday Fam Day. It's a play on the Sunday Fun Day, but that's a good deal.
So, yeah, play with an adult and then kids for free. So that's been going on too. So I have been seeing a lot of family Sundays. So that's always been a positive.
I love that. Yeah, so if you're the listeners out there, if they can get the afternoon off and get up to Hidden Hills, they can play. Maybe you get some in this afternoon or any other time. But and then make a time to get the kids out there and introduce them to a new game if they haven't already introduced them to it. That's at 4335 Indiana Avenue in Bettendorf, just north of the TBK complex. You can also call Mike for anything else as far as like tee times go or what's going on. You can call him at 563-332-5616 or go to hiddenhills-golf.com to find out more information. I know you guys already just got through the whole 4th of July. I think when we talked last week, you said it's not really the next scheduled tournament for you guys isn't until Labor Day weekend, right?
Yep, Labor Day is our next 4-man, and we just run them just like all of our other events. So we do it's a 4-man scramble, 22 holes, and we'll 8 a.m. shotgun. So that's kind of like our last holiday. And then we get into the Chili Opens, but we're a little far from that. So usually in October we do a few Chili Opens, so stay tuned.
I'm going to ask you a question that's not golf related. You played basketball and golf at Simpson, right?
Simpson College, yeah.
How much do you think you would have made for your name, image, and likeness? Would you be in the seven figures like Bryce Young from Alabama?
Would not have been in seven figures, but I'd hate to not speculate it that it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think you would have done to promote your brand?
What's that?
What do you think you would have done to promote your brand? Would you have put your face on a T-shirt? Would you have come up with like some crazy slogan?
I would have contacted. They always do some of those local radio stations similar to yours, but they do like on campus radio. So I think I would have done that. I knew a few guys doing that. So I would have maybe gone that route. And yeah, T-shirts are fun. Koozies, can't beat a koozie.
Oh, Yes, I think if you put a bundle package together, if we could go back in time, I would have paid for that, Mike, to have your face on a T-shirt and a koozie.
Yes, 100%. So, it's all speculative, but not much, to be honest.
Not much,
the Division 1, 2 athletes get a little, they're around bigger cities. They've just got more people around, so, and they get exposure on TV and newspapers and any social media, Twitter, all that stuff. So,
I guess you didn't have as much of all that back then. So, but I like to believe that you would have had a good push. You would have put some change in your pocket.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay. Well, let's put some change in our pocket. Let's do a DFS for golf this week.
Okay. How did we do last week?
Not well. We had to. We were good with. We were doing fine, but hold on. I'm gonna go back and look at the, what our history or whatever else. And I think it was we missed the. Where's it at? Oh yeah, we didn't. It was. What happened was. Okay, John Rahm, when he had the back nine, when he had those 4 birdies in a row, that helped us out a lot. Bryson was awful, and you heard all about the stuff that he went through, right? When he was blaming his club and everything else.
I'm just going to take a break from DeChambeau.
Let's take a break from DeChambeau because obviously the people from Cobra want to take a break from. They don't want to take a break from him, but they're just like, listen, this guy is a spaz, so we're not even going to listen to him when he does something so silly. Dietrich didn't make the cut. The senior guy only got us 53 points, and Bezuzenhout only got us 54.5, and Ian Poulter only got 69. So basically, Rahm with the minus 11 got us the most points, and then he got like over 1/4 of our entire team's points was John Rahm. So
I know
that's what happened.
So not the best weekend. DeChambeau, I know. With golf is you're trying to get good karma, and then when you put down sponsors and equipment stuff, it just doesn't go well.
No.
At all.
But then you have like Koepka, who's just like tweets about how he loves his driver and everything else, and he just won't stop. I think it's great.
No. He's gonna eat that up all day.
So what are we looking at this week?
All right, this week we got the 3M challenge.
Yeah. I need to look at this. I need to look at the golf schedule. Now that I'm PGA credentialed, I could have gone up to the Twin Cities and covered this.
That would have been great for you.
I know.
Yeah, no, you got to start looking at that stuff because you got to take advantage. 3M, I can't remember what course it's at.
It's TPC Twin Cities. It's an Arnold Palmer. It's an Arnold Palmer. It's an Arnold Palmer course.
Okay.
Yep.
Scott might be able to get you on there.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
I need to make some phone calls. Maybe he needs to tell me my schedule.
Okay, here we go. We got first two. I'm going to try to hit the middle of the road here. We're going to do something a little different.
Okay.
So I think I've got 6 middle of the road guys, but they've been playing well. We'll see how they do.
All right.
Stuart Fink.
Yep. I spelled it wrong. All right. He's 8 of the last 21 cuts, and he's got 3 top 10s this year. Okay.
Yep. And then we've got Chris Kirk.
Yep. 17 to 24 cuts, 5 top 10s. I like that.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have drafted him before. I
believe
he's done
so,
okay.
yeah.
He's never given us huge money, but fine. We've got Luke List.
Okay. Yep. All right, 14 to 28 though, but does have a couple top 10s, so.
Yep. P. Kizery.
Yep. Okay, 19 to 25 cuts, 5 top 10s. I like this.
Yep.
Yeah. It's looking good.
Okay.
You got a solid team you're building here.
Next is R. McIntyre.
Okay. Yep. 14 to 15 cuts, 3 top 10s.
Okay, solid.
Yeah.
Last but not least, M. Pereira.
See that. Okay. 25 to 36. He's got 10 top 10s. What? All right. Who is this guy?
Yeah, I know. Kind of flying under the radar.
He sure is. Well, he doesn't even have a pitcher on here.
No, his agent needs to get him upgraded. Well, maybe he needs a win or something to get it going.
He was at the John Deere Classic.
Yep.
He finished 34th. So, yeah, maybe he likes this Midwest weather. All right. He was at Rocket Mortgage as well. He finished in the top 100. He's got a couple number ones and some other things, but nothing that stands out. But yeah, interesting. All right.
So, let's ride it. Let's see how it goes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for that. Anything else going on, my friend?
Not really on my end. Just the dog days of summer out here at the golf course.
You're done. Are you done traveling for the travel ball season?
Yeah, we baseball's over.
Uh-huh.
So it's like tryout week everywhere. So all the teams are scrambling around trying to. I think it's softball is probably similar, I'm sure.
Yeah, for the next 3 weeks, you're going to hear. That's what you're going to see. If you're following anything on social media, you'll just be seeing a bunch of people posting a bunch of stuff where they're at. So, yeah, what they're trying out for and everything, yeah. So that's definitely happening right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, just basic stuff, just moving right along.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a good rest of the show, and we'll see you possibly next week.
Let's make some money, buddy. Let's make some money. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Yep, bye. All right, that's Mike out at Hidden Hills. That's at 4335 Indiana Avenue, just north of the TBK complex. If you're ever traveling down I-80, you see the signs. Go ahead and give a call out there at 563-332-5616 if you need anything, or go to hiddenhills-golf.com to get more information about the 22 holes that they have there. We're going to be right back here at Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Matt Koss of the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Hey, Jackie, did the Gomez files come in?
For Lucy's law firm, finding the perfect Spanish-speaking paralegal feels like an unwinnable case.
The case documents are in Spanish. My Espanol is too rusty for this.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're ready for an oil change, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a Wix filter for $33.99. Plus, get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate and double O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I need some backup. I got to get these trucks to Tuscaloosa by Tuesday.
Trevor's Trucking needs 3 18-wheeler drivers with commercial licenses ASAP, or his company will stall.
If we don't move the rigs before this weekend, we're going to be in trouble.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
I don't know if I want Justin Fields right out of the gate just to be the guy. I would like for him to ease himself into it. But I started finding myself thinking, if he does start right out of the gate, does that buy Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace another year? Is it bad that I'm even putting myself in that situation now? I'm thinking about, are you doing what's best for the player, Justin Fields? Are you doing what's best in the interest of Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace to make sure that, hey, we gave our rookie a start, we gave him everything he needed, a quarterback like Andy Dalton who's there to help him out, build him up. It's going to take some time, guys. But you got to be patient.
This isn't Jacksonville. This is a playoff team. I wouldn't mind starting him immediately because they got pieces in place, especially on defense. Offensively, they've gotten better. Allen Robinson is back now. So when you look at it, it's like, if he wins the job, it might make sense to start him.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Does Aaron Rodgers get moved before the season starts?
The two teams in the AFC for me would be the Raiders. And I know they got Carr, but you send Carr back to Green Bay. I know John Gruden he's probably sitting there just trying to figure out how to get that done because he's never satisfied the quarterback spot.
Never.
Think about it. He tried to get Brett Favre when Brett was 60. So, I mean,
but if you think about it, though, as far as location goes for Aaron Rodgers,
he was Vegas
would be, Vegas would be optimal. Obviously, Bay Area, where he's from, like that would have really been.
That's why he was
better
really
for
pushing.
Yeah.
He was really pushing for that San Francisco opportunity because they had a winning team. And the Raiders, maybe he is a guy who can kick them over the top. But those are the two teams in the AFC that make sense.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Hey, Sarah, how's business?
It's going well. Our clients love our work. I just wish that we could figure out how to grow faster.
I hear you. Is it slow for everyone in your industry right now?
Actually, no. I see competitors all over who seem to be very busy, even though I know my work is better than theirs. I just wish I knew how they were finding new customers. If I could do it too, I know I could beat them.
Growing a business in the Quad Cities is challenging, and figuring out where to start is the hardest part. If your business does great work but just needs help finding more customers, then Town Square can help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis that'll show you how the most successful businesses in the Quad Cities grow and how you can do it too. These strategies are simple, and we can show you how to apply them to your business. Be one of the first businesses to sign up, and you'll receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
We're the escape from your boss. The best sports talk lives right here every day. ESPN 1170.
$12:48 on Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. We're here in the Hassle Castle. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170 AM. The next thing I was going to go into, because I just don't want to gloss over the NBA, but it's funny that I looked at the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, and a question from Brad was something that I wanted to bring up eventually, and I was waiting for a moment that we could do it. We talked about Giannis, and we talked about the Bucks. Heck of a game last night for him, 105-98. Another friend of the show, Roland, he messaged me, and he said, you know, the kid's young, he's the face of the NBA. All right. We already said he's got the third best odds going into next year, as the Milwaukee Bucks do. You know that LeBron's not going to like. I mean, oh, by the way, $31.6 million Space Jam brought in. I guess I'm bouncing all over the place.
Exceeded the original Space Jam.
An opening weekend?
Yep.
And projected was $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it?
No, I have not yet.
Not bad.
It's not bad?
It's okay.
I'm going to be excited either way.
Don Cheadle steals that movie, man.
I know how this movie's supposed to be.
I didn't. Yeah.
I'll have a good time with it.
I told you I didn't like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Don Cheadle steals this movie.
And I love Don.
But
he's great.
There is a couple of similarities that they follow through.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's wife doesn't play his wife. LeBron's kids don't play his kids. And in the original, Michael Jordan's wife didn't play his wife, and his kids didn't play his kids. That type of thing. But it's not bad. It's up to date. And I can relate to the kids a lot more. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's still Looney Tunes involved and whatnot. But yeah, it's relatable to 2021, I would say. And so it wasn't bad. So I don't, but again, going back to it, now, Giannis, if he's going to be, LeBron's going to have something to say if he's going to be the next face or whatever else. And LeBron's not going to go away quietly. And then KD's still going to want to prove that he's the best player in the game. You know, you have East Coast, West Coast, and I'm not saying it like a rap battle, but LeBron is the best one playing right now, but KD's right there. I mean, he's a shoe size away from being just as good as him.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to keep this going.
Is Giannis right there at number 3 now?
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 26, like we just said. What he's done compared to those other guys in comparison, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just go through it again. The list at the age of 26. If you're doing the comparison, at the age of 26, with an NBA championship, an NBA Finals MVP, and 2 league MVPs, to compare that to some of the people that we talk about a lot, Michael Jordan had just 1 league MVP and no championships. LeBron had 2 MVPs with no titles. Will Chamberlain had 1 MVP with no titles, and Shaquille O'Neal had no MVP awards and no titles at the age of 26. Keep that in mind. Shaquille O'Neal probably, how long did he go to college for? Did he go all 4?
I think he went all 4.
Wilt was in college. LeBron did not go to college. Michael Jordan left after his sophomore, junior year. Yeah. Someone can, on the Heritage Pub, can tell me that. But the other thing is this. You don't walk away. No one walks away and going like, I can't believe that effing guy won.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got that infectious smile, and he creates like a rainbow over his team. I mean, even when Bobby Portis started to get into a little bit of a trouble, I think it was Chris Middleton that kind of pulled him aside and was like, we're trying to win a title here. How about you not get any technicals?
Put it together.
Yeah. Like, let's not do this. So,
and then Chris Paul came out and missed that free throw, too.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So, he is. So, Brad writes kind of something that I was thinking about, but I'm not going to say it. He's a nice, clean-cut guy saying the right things, and hopefully some of their leagues are hitching the wagon. He makes a comparison, but I was thinking that, like, is there any, and I know we're crossing over into, but we're done with the NBA. I don't even want to start with speculating about the draft or anything like that, because I guarantee you I don't know nearly enough about it. So I'm looking at football. Is Patrick Mahomes the most comparable quarterback, or is there any other quarterbacks out there comparable that, just says the right things, looks good, and you don't walk away with going, man, that effing guy won again, or he won just won a game, And Patrick, I think that is a good comparison with Patrick Mahomes.
I think it's pretty much hit the nail on the head right
there.
Yeah,
because I've been thinking about it over and over, and I think eventually, maybe by week 4, maybe by week 14, we might feel that way about Justin Fields.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, and who wouldn't around here, There are plenty of people, it's out of...
Did we ever look at Russell Wilson that way?
Maybe Russell Wilson just broke the mold.
Mm-hmm.
And no one hitched it to, one, it's in Seattle, but... he can barely, the whole thing, he was just too small or whatever else. Maybe he's the one that just ushered that in. And we'll, in time, learn to respect that. But I've never been a Russell Wilson guy, even though the numbers are up there. And he's just one of those guys that's never been on one of my fantasy teams. Even though that's why I probably don't win fantasy leagues. And I know Drew Brees isn't tall in stature either, but I think Russell Wilson kind of ushered this in. I don't know enough about Kyler Murray, because when you have teams that are more West Coast, we don't have as much
exposure.
The press in there.
And this guy is in the middle of the United States. Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Both sides can see him.
Yeah, and you want that's the other thing. If you win, sometimes it turns so people don't like Tom Brady, and you have a lot of reasons why you can or can't. I mean, you can go as far as Deflategate or other things. People don't like Eli Manning for the Eli Manning face or whatever else. People don't like Aaron Rodgers because they're Bear fans or Viking fans, And he's also very kind of an introvert. He does things for himself. Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers. You saw the now. By the way, and I will still compare quarterbacks and try to say like who could be the face. But I'm very leery about what the Packers came out yesterday. Well, Schefter was reporting yesterday that they offered him 2 more years and an extension that would have made him the highest paid quarterback or the highest paid player. Maybe I think it was a tie or something like that.
And them reporting that and then exposing that made Aaron Rodgers dislike him even more.
Yes.
And even made him more of a reason to go.
Because it was the exact same contract that he's in right now. See, like right now, they can't cut him. I think it's going to cost them... if I'm saying it wrong, cap space. If I give you the number, I'll probably say it wrong. But it's anywhere if they can cut him before, not this year, but like next year, and they'll drop like $17 million more cap space for him if they do it. And he sees this. That's why they drafted Jordan Love. That's what he's upset about. He's upset about a lot of things, that they're not getting other weapons in there. But there is money involved here. And when they give him this extension, the exact same thing is happening, that we can cut you at this time that's more beneficial for us. And he's just saying, this is the exact same contract. Stop doing this. Like, it's the whole thing, like, stop doing the draft the way I don't want you to. Like, help me out here. And it's a GM versus quarterback thing. And the Packers are trying to force the public to side with the Packers and be like, we tried, see? But there's other things involved in contracts that they don't tell you, and that it's not fun to present on ESPN or Fox Sports or CBS or to write about. No one wants to talk about salary cap and everything else or be like, well, here's the reason why he's upset. But if you listen, you follow the right things, there are ways that the Packers are looking towards the future, and so is Aaron Rodgers. Here's the other question. They offered it knowing that he was going to turn it down. I'm sorry. Who wants to be tied to Aaron Rodgers for another 5 years?
Yeah, probably nobody.
I don't know. Maybe the Denver Broncos, but that's crazy. They're not going to do it.
At this point, we really haven't seen a decline, though.
No.
I mean, he's still putting up quite
13-3, back-to-back years. MVP.
Most teams will take that.
But I'm saying 5 years.
Yeah. I still, with these quarterbacks are playing older and older, and the rules are changing for them in order to play longer and longer, without them getting hit as hard.
Okay, I gotcha.
We're seeing some older quarterbacks still going. Tom Brady's still going. Drew Brees just retired.
Tom Brady wants to keep playing. Aaron Rodgers wants to host Jeopardy.
You think he doesn't want to keep? You don't think he wants to keep?
I'm just saying he's got other options.
I'm just saying I think that he wants to keep playing football. He just does not want it to be in Green Bay.
I don't know what's going to make this guy happy. I really don't. And if that's what it is, then figure it out. This is ridiculous, playing this out in the public and then be like, well, we offered him all this money, and he turned it down, though. It's not a good look by Green Bay. And like you said, it's just upsetting Aaron Rodgers. It's a saying my mother used to always say. It's like teaching a pig to sing. It's not going to work out, and it's only going to annoy the pig. And that is exactly this situation. By letting this out and saying, like, this is how much money we offered him, this is what's going on, it's not going to work out, and it's only going to teach the pig to sing. I mean, it's only going to annoy the pig. That's all. And he is. He's just like, I don't care. And if he doesn't care about the money, you got to move on.
Yeah.
And so
I'm shocked that the Packers haven't got rid of him yet. Like, what are we doing here? You need some return for this value.
Mm-hmm.
You have value right now. You want your team to be better? Go get somebody that can put around Jordan Love now.
Maybe it's just that the Jordan Love thing isn't going to work out. So that's the thing. Stocking saying, yeah, even if Rodgers retires, the Packers would still own all his rights. Yes, that's true. That's what the collective bargaining agreement's all about. It. Yes, but same thing. He says Packers hold all the cards. If Rodgers refuses to report, he won't play football. Yes, if he retires, he has to give up close to $28 million. So, and Erickson said he wants to be a free agent. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. Well, in 3 years, he's got this year and he's got 2022 and 2023. So it does. This isn't NBA. That the NFL and the NFLPA made the collective bargaining agreement because they did not want to create a situation where players can just sit out and refuse to play. They either have to retire or do whatever else. I mean, it's in the writing that thing's there. Okay. It's Mahomes. Is there anybody up and coming? I mean, that would be like Giannis, like it just says the right things, does all those things.
I would say Trevor Lawrence, but I feel like he's in the wrong market for it. That Jacksonville market isn't going to be. And
then you're also going to have that people that are just like that pretty boy type of thing. They just can't. I mean, even T-Roy, it was probably listening somewhere, who hates the NBA, can't say a bad word about Giannis. Yeah. But I mean, we could all.
Does he know who Giannis is?
He does.
He
yeah.
does.
Yeah, I think he knows him as a Greek freak.
Today for sure.
Today for sure. So, Baker has some baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ben has baggage.
All the baggage.
You can't.
Josh Allen, but it's not really the market again. Like,
no, you're from Wyoming to Buffalo. You've missed a lot of things along the way.
I think he's the guy.
Yeah, and as much as I like Joe Burrows, he's got which is a good thing if you're quarterback. You want he's got a confidence to him, but it doesn't seem like they're
like a cockiness, like an arrogantness a little bit.
And you like that as your quarterback, but I could see however people are like, eh.
Yeah, I love Joe Burrow too. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan.
I'm a big Joe Burrow fan.
But when he walks, you can just tell like he knows he's better than you.
Yes,
looks like a little bit,
Yeah, and that's where I think some people will be like, I'm not in on that. We all got. I mean, we even do the drop Kirk Cousins. You like that, so he's not going to get it. I honestly do feel like I think Justin Fields could be right there.
Next in line, baby.
I think he really could be. We'll have to see.
Especially after he wins the Super Bowl this year.
And I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Jimmy G except for where he's played and what he's done.
He was sleeping with porn stars, or wasn't
that
he? So
part,
that doesn't
that's
help.
the only other thing.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, that's that will, and then I got one though. But is it matter of because of the shadow that people don't like him? Is Dak not likable?
I think it's the Cowboy shadow that people.
I think
don't
it's
like
the Cowboy shadow because I don't think he's ever done or said anything wrong.
And he kind of held out in that contract issue a little bit. People don't like that. People don't like when people hold out for more money.
But that was a matter of the Cowboys were always prepared to give him money. They were just like, we just need to figure out the longevity of the contract. That's what they wanted. It was never about we don't want to pay him. They just want to make sure they have the years. Now, if he comes back and does well, will everyone secretly applaud him to be like comeback player of the year? We like that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's still the shadow. I think he'll win comeback player of the year still and stuff like that. But still that shadow. Even if he wins, there still is going to be a lot of hate to where just because he plays for the Cowboys.
Okay. Tua, I don't see it as a face or whatever else. I'm just trying to look at Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I think unfortunately
people don't like the way he plays football. Really,
yeah. You're gonna get
find hate for a lot of these guys that just doesn't really necessarily exist. You know, and Patrick Mahomes doesn't have that.
No, not at all. Hines says Justin Herbert. Guy is great. It's. I think he could maybe get there. It's just it just sucks. The West Coast thing is the one that hurts, and I know it's more in baseball than it is in football, but I just don't know. I mean, when your own coach didn't want to start you, it took a team doctor stabbing the starting quarterback in the heart. He's not there yet. Herbert's not there yet. But could he be in line? Maybe. It clearly is Mahomes.
Yeah, over everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And all these players are great quarterbacks. I love them all. Herbert, Prescott, I think he's great. Burrow, like you said, Baker. It's just they have that shadow of them, like you call it.
Yeah. Well, and Stocking says Dak got arrested twice at Mississippi State. He had a fight on the beach and a DUI. That says more to the point though, where people are like they overlook that. But he doesn't like Prescott. He says he's overrated and overpaid.
Not a fan of Prescott whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, so Yeah, I just thought about that earlier, so I'm glad Brad brought that up about the whole thing.
That's a nice little comparison. Do we have a guy like that in baseball?
As much as it sucks. He's on the West Coast right now. It's Fernando Tatis. They're on the West Coast.
Yeah,
Trout, Fernando Tatis. Let's see. Ohtani, West Coast. But I mean, isn't that crazy? We would be talking about him, and then you've got someone like Jacob deGrom who doesn't say anything, and you're like, oh, no big deal. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. All those guys, they look the part. They bring something to the game. It's infectious. It's like must-watch TV when they play. So that's where that is. I would say the same thing, though, back in 2016, Rizzo and Bryant. I mean, they were up there as going to be a face of something. Javi, I don't know. Not so much. But it's got to be Trout. It's got to be Tatis. It's got to be Vlad, Ohtani, big. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, maybe on the East Coast side. Maybe Acuna was there. I don't think so. Anyone down in New York? I mean, Yankees are going to have hate no matter where they go. No one's taking over that. And same thing with the Red Sox. And no one from the Astros. The White Sox, I don't think have anybody like that.
No, not quite there.
Royals, no. I mean, you're not hitching your wagon at Whit Merrifield. So I think the guys are on the West Coast, and I think that's crazy. But like no, Brad Harper was never at one point going to be the face. The guy that everyone liked.
Nobody liked him.
That was all. That's because when you're on, he has to win, and we're not even giving LeBron even the idea that he would be like second in line behind Giannis, because when you're on the cover like LeBron, when you're 16, you cover Sports Illustrated, you're automatically going to carry a lot of hate. And there's those stories out there when he was in the minors and what Mike Schmidt said and everything else. So I don't think it's Harper, and I do not think it was Aaron Judge ever. He's the face of the Yankees. That's why they won't trade him at the deadline, but he's not the face of the Major League Baseball. It is Tatis. It is Trout. It is Vlad Guerrero Jr., and it's Ohtani, and that's it. And I think that's the list, but I don't think it's nearly as much as like the way Giannis is right now. But I take that back. The thing about Trout is we just want to see him, but baseball's getting better by highlighting Ohtani and Tatis and Vlad Guerrero Jr., and maybe they'll take a page and...
Yeah, Tatis is everywhere now.
Yes.
Tatis really is the guy, I feel like, that kind of markets up to them.
Yep, 100%. So, it's a fun way of looking at it because, like I said, it's like, all right, it doesn't really bother me too much. All right, Tampa Bay went to the White House yesterday. Tom Brady came with jokes. He's a funny guy. Tom Brady is not only this old starting quarterback in the NFL, he's a jokester. So he goes to the podium, and he says, President Joe Biden to his right, not a lot of people thought we could win. In fact, I think about 40% of them still don't think we won. And Biden comes back with, I understand that. Tom, you're so silly. Then he says, we had a game in Chicago where I forgot what down it was. I lost track of one down in 21 years of playing, and they started calling me Sleepy Tom. Why do they do that to me? And Biden says, I don't know, because they call him Sleepy Joe. Oh, you guys. You're
jokes
just
all around.
Yeah.
Did you see Bruce Arians' outfit?
I did, yeah.
He had a nice little outfit going on.
Yeah,
I want to know who put that together for him. I need that suit.
They are the first reigning champions to visit the White House since 2017. So I don't know what that says, if that's a completely thing against Trump or it's a Democratic president. I have
Was
no
that
idea.
football?
Yeah,
Or
it was
just
football. The
football?
NFL, yeah, the NFL champion since,
Gotcha.
yeah. So we mentioned it earlier, and JR called in. We don't really have an idea why they played the softball, and Stocking might actually know this or whatever else, but why they played the softball games on in a baseball stadium, and then they had to put makeshift fences up for them to play. They're two different stadiums, right?
Yep, two different stadiums, two different locations.
Yeah. So it kicked off last night.
And it does say that's who's hosting those events, but there's nothing about why.
Gotcha.
Anywhere I can find at least.
Baseball and softball kicked off last night. USA won 2-0. The Tokyo Olympics will feature 6 new or returning sports, giving this year's games a record 41 different disciplines of athletics, and 339 gold medals that will be awarded to the victors. Baseball and softball return for the first time since 2008. New to the Olympics is surfing, skateboarding, sport climbing, and karate. So, skateboarding, no longer just an X game. Skaters will compete in 2 events in Tokyo. There's a street event, think rails and staircases, and then there's a park with big tricks, think of like a empty pool type of thing. That'll be July 24th to the 25th and August 3rd through the 4th. Sport climbing. Men and women will compete in just one event, combining 3 formats: speed, the fastest up a 15-meter wall, bouldering, and then lead climbing. 6 minutes to get as high as possible on a very difficult wall. That'll be August 3rd to 6th. And then there will be 82 different types of things in 3 different weight classes for karate. So that'll be August 4th through the 7th. This is going to be on NBC, on all their form, NBC, Universal, whatever comes under that umbrella, and as well as Peacock going on. So, yeah, and I also mentioned surfing. I have no idea how you score that, but hey, more Olympics the better. We're just happy to have it because the number one story is going to be the COVID. I mean, we already had an alternate for the Olympics. She had to go back. We've had some guys from the basketball team. Basketball team, the odds are up. The basketball team is favored to win pretty heavily.
Of course.
The men's, it's minus 600, so you put up 600 just to win 100. The next best odds after that are the Australian men. They're plus 500. And then it goes Spain plus 1,000. So,
you know what the Olympics needs? Cornhole.
Why not?
That's got to come. It's got to happen eventually, right?
Yeah. I'm sure they will. I mean, they don't want wrestling, but I'm sure they'll bring something like that in. Makes sense to me. It does. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some more sports, and then we'll get ready to talk to Emily Van Buskirk at 1:30. We're going to talk to her about the NIL name, image, and likeness, and also the decision in Oakland and about how it does not look good with what even though they passed it 7-1 for the stadium, but there's amendments on there that Oakland has to agree to, and they
don't like any of them.
No, it's almost like they did it on purpose. So we'll be right back. Don't Hassle us for local here on ESPN 1170 AM.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Merrick Brave from SCW Pro, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local, streaming only on Peacock.
What do you know about Dr. Dunch?
He was charming, intelligent.
My patients mean everything to me.
Based on the unbelievable true story.
I can't make sense of it.
Dunch has 2 deaths that we know of. The state of Texas has executed people for less.
It's like he knew what he was supposed to do.
And he did the exact opposite.
Dr. Death, starring Joshua Jackson with Christian Slater and Alec Baldwin.
I am going to fix you.
All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock.
Let's start with everyone out there looking to catch up on some much-needed summer fun. Narrow it to all those summer fun seekers who got caught without sunscreen. Oh, for you, Walgreens now offers delivery in as little as 1 hour. From sunscreen to bug spray to snacks and toys, Walgreens makes it easy to get the essentials you need quickly so you can keep your summer going.
Right now, buy one, get one free on select varieties of frozen ice cream treats. Of equal or lesser price, valid through 7/24. Restrictions apply. See Walgreens.com for details.
Janae and Golick Jr.
There are not a lot of places that actually get to claim a cartoon leprechaun. I am one of those places here. And so if anyone should understand what the Boston Celtics faithful, because I saw Big Baby Davis, I think Kevin Garnett, both spoke out defending Lucky after Kyrie Irving just went too far and stomped on him at half court of TD Garden. I think it's pretty fair to say I love Notre Dame more than most people love anything. Like, it's a weird obsession. Notre Dame's kind of like weird like that in general. And even I don't know if I missed the day they were handing out this lifelong competitive juice. I could not find it in me to get upset if another team decided to do that to the Irish. It's like I'd be more worried about the fact that we just got blowed the hell out. You can do whatever you want. Throw 40-yard touchdowns at the end of the game. If we're losing by 40, I'm sitting over there wondering, why were we so bad that we lost by 40?
Janae and Golick Jr., 3 to 6 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Tyson Fresh Meats in Joslin wants you to join their team. If you're a motivated individual, this career is for you. They have immediate openings in maintenance technicians. Make up to $23.70 per hour and progress up to $33.75 with daily attendance incentives and a $3,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today to get your $3,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $3,000 sign-on bonus. Go to TysonFoods.com/careers. Feed your future with Tyson Fresh Meats.
Ace Muffler Clinic has been serving the Quad Cities area for over 60 years. There's a reason why our customers continue to trust us with their vehicles. We can fix almost anything. We can fix your muffler, tune your brakes, change your oil, change your tires, replace your battery, customize your exhaust, tune your engine, repair your suspension, replace your radiator and your water pump. Align your automobile, refill your transmission fluid, and change your filters. And we believe in doing all those things right the first time. For fast, friendly service, visit Ace Muffler Clinic at 4th Ave and 15th Street in Rock Island.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Julio Jones does move on. He will be with the Tennessee Titans. And Key, you were shooting it down, saying it's not a good fit.
You're looking at him and you're saying production is going to come because they're going to throw the ball. They're not going to change their style. They've gone to the AFC Championship game, a couple playoff appearances on the backs of that running back in Derrick Henry. You think about the philosophy and style that Vrabel wants to play. They want to be big up front. They want to run the football. So you trade for Julio Jones, when many people think Julio Jones is on the way backside of his career based on injuries. But I don't necessarily like it for Julio, and I don't know what to make of it for the Titans because of the style of play. They're not going to be the Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not going to do that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
This is Will at Dolan Jewelers telling you it's a great time to find the perfect engagement ring. We have a 1-carat diamond ring for $29.99. That's right, a 1-carat for just $29.99. Take advantage of our interest-free financing, and now that same ring is only $125 a month. We'll make it fun, fast, and easy with a selection of the most popular styles and diamonds. Visit us on Elmore Avenue in Davenport or DolanJewelers.com.
Beat the heat this summer with these hot deals from Tyson's. Now through August 1st, save on Comfort Zone fans starting at $14.99. Enjoy the outdoors with deals on patio furniture and garden decor now 30% off. Save up to 40% on select spring and summer apparel from great brands including Wrangler, Lee, and Dickies. Don't forget to sign up for Tyson's More Club Rewards and start earning points today. Shop these savings in-store and online now through August 1st. Tyson's Home, Farm, Auto.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBLB Davenport, a Town Square media station.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle So Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Well, yeah, that's the end of the NBA season. And it's a long season, but it's over. And now, like I said, this week it's Bix week here in the Quad Cities, and good luck to everybody that's going to be participating in that.
But if you like basketball, you got the Olympics coming right around. By the time the Olympics are over, the NBA will be starting.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this last week with Jake, and we will again. But yeah, if you go to like Elite Sportsbook, to make it interesting, you can put a little money on it or whatever else. And they also have games like there's men's 3-on-3 gold medal odds. The United States doesn't have anyone in there on that. There's a women's let's see the odds of women's gold medal game. You have to put up $1,100 to win $100 on the women for the U.S. women. They're highly, highly favored to win it. The next one up is plus 1,500. That's the Australian women, and then it looks like the French. Yep, and then the Spain women. And then, let's see. Is this for real? In softball, you have to put up 250, so it's minus 250 for the U.S. women. So you have to put up 250 to win 100. Japan is plus 200. Then it goes Canada plus 800 for the best odds there. And let's see the baseball odds. Japan is the favorite to win. And then it goes the U.S. men after that. Then South Korea men. And then Mexico. Dominican Republic is plus 1,000. This is just there's a game tonight at 7 o'clock. USA versus Canada.
Baseball?
Nope, softball.
Oh, okay.
And there's game lines. It's minus 330 USA, or you can give up 4.5 runs to get plus 115. I can't believe there's game lines on this. What a world we live in.
Is this just like pre-games? Like is this?
No, they started beforehand.
This is actual games
this
going
happens.
on?
Yeah, it happens every once in a while. I mean, it happens before the opening ceremonies. I know Glancy was saying something on the Harrington Spot Facebook comment thread to go to what JR asked. It has to do with the deal to get baseball and softball back in the Olympics. They agreed to play on the same fields. Anything you can do to get back in there, I guess. Anything? Is there? Let's see. Women's gold medal soccer. USA is, I think, a favorite here to win in soccer. Yeah, I mean, you can find all kinds of things to gamble on here. It's kind of crazy that they have all this stuff on here. I mean, I don't know. Good. I was gonna say I pulled up the link for women's beach volleyball, but I don't have any idea about that. But there's lines for women's as well for women's actual volleyball, which is crazy to me. But what a world we live in.
Yeah, people like to gamble.
I know. All right, look, speaking of the Olympics, the COVID is going to be the biggest deal of all. There's no fans in the stands or anything like that, and there are positive tests already coming out of the Olympic Village. Gymnastics is going to be a big deal. That's the one that people like the most. It actually goes gymnastics, swimming, then basketball, most viewed. And so... that's what people will be paying attention to. And then we said at the top of the show, is this a big deal that Cam Akers' Achilles injury, that he tore it? Does it take anything away from the Rams at all?
I don't think it completely takes them away. I still think they're Super Bowl contenders. Definitely NFC Championship game contenders. That's a tough loss, but, running backs, they pop out of everywhere anymore. Use them for a few years and then get rid of them. But
I think the guy. I don't
have a pretty good backup, right? Is that Darrell Henderson still there?
Yeah, Darrell Henderson will be the guy there. They've got Xavier Jones, and Xavier Jones, is he out of? No, that's not. They have another guy, another running back, who ran it, who played at Maryland, so we should know him in the Big Ten. And then they have a undrafted rookie free agent, Otis Anderson.
Is this the Matt Stafford effect? He just can't get a running back?
Maybe. And then over at CBSSports.com, they made some speculations over some of the free agents and McVay's not saying that they want to sign a free agent, but some speculation on some free agents that they could use as an RB2. Adrian Peterson last year, 604 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, the guy can still play.
Might not be a bad fit. Gets to go back to L.A.
Yeah, gets to be there with another veteran with Stafford, and kind of show. And they were teammates before, I believe. Did he play in Detroit? Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, he was there last year. Hey, I can't believe Stafford.
He wasn't there last year, was he? Wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was
with
in
the
Washington.
Lions. No, he was with the Lions last year.
He was with Washington last year.
He last played with the Lions.
I'm wrong then.
Yeah. Don't you think Stafford would be like, hey?
Yeah, think you'd call your buddy up.
Boy, oh boy, if this happens. Frank Gore. I mean, this.
Run him into the ground.
He had 653 yards last year, 2 touchdowns. Duke Johnson. The Texans have a lot of running backs, by the way. I'll look this up in a second here. Let's go to NFL.
Lamar Miller's still there? There's no way Lamar Miller's still there, is he?
I think they have a buttload. Let's take a look.
Johnson's there.
He had 235 yards last year, 1 touchdown. And I didn't know Chris Thompson. I don't care about Chris Thompson.
Wait, he's a Texan now, or there's another guy?
I think we're thinking of Chris Johnson. He's not in the league. I don't know who Chris Thompson is.
Chris Thompson's a PPR guy. Catches the ball out of the backfield.
For the Jags?
No, he for the Jags last year?
Different guy. You're thinking different guy.
He was playing for Washington again last year.
No, this is a different. I have Jaguars. He had 20 yards last year. I have no idea what this is. All right, they have David Johnson, Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Rex Burkhead, and they still have Duke Johnson in Houston. Yeah, call Houston. See what they have going on there.
What's the point?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Henderson.
Running backs get hurt, but it's not like you're contending this year, Houston.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, I don't think if you look at, let's go back here. I mean, they may again. I think it's just a bigger deal because it's the NFL, and they're going to be like, "Oh, we have to talk about this." You know, what's going to happen now? I don't think it's a big deal that he's out. To be honest, I mean,
Did you see their line drop at all?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
I tried to look at it right away. It still goes Buccaneer to win the championship, to win the Super Bowl. I mean, the NFC championship. It still goes Buccaneers, Packers, then them, just to win the NFC championship. So, let's see. We'll just see how Henderson did last year.
Henderson was the starter for a lot of the year last year at the beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm just trying. I want to see. Yeah. So, he had 15 games played. Akers had 13. They flirted around the same amount of attempts. Akers had 145. Henderson had 138. 625 yards. 624 yards for Henderson. 4.3 for average for Akers. 4.5 for Henderson. He had 3 more touchdowns than them. They're fine.
It does nothing.
Yeah, this is a bunch of hot air to be like.
It's a good 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah,
all those guys.
That's what it is. It's more about the running back too and what they're going to do there. Yeah,
Stafford's going to throw it 60 times anyways a game.
The only reason you need to know that, and they don't want to say it, but the only reason you need to know who they're going to sign or whatever else is because it's for fantasy reasons for handcuffing him. Other than that, the Rams are fine. Yeah, that doesn't make. Let's see where they have them listed here. ESPN does for their depth chart. Xavier Jones. Jake Funk is the running back that was at Maryland last year. He's third on their depth chart. So, and Xavier Jones, I believe, is out of SMU.
Rookie?
No, not a rookie. No, maybe I'm wrong. Yep, you're right. He's a rookie. Yep. Yeah, he's out of No, it's his second season, but he didn't have any touches last year. But yeah, he's out of SMU. So, and I think he's really quick, from what I understand, from what I heard earlier. So, again, I think it's just one of the, and we're gonna have more and more. People will forget about this. How much people blew up over it yesterday, and because you're gonna have another injury here coming up soon.
Yeah,
so,
people are just gonna keep getting injured for this next month.
But it's something you got to keep an eye on because, the fantasy drafts are coming, and so
I feel bad for anybody who drafted already.
Huh?
Like anybody that drafted already.
Yeah.
I know it's way early, but
yeah,
that's happening.
Before we call Emily Van Buskirk, I'll do the trivia question live here now, and people on Heritage Club Facebook comment thread, you can answer as well. Giannis was just the fifth non-U.S. born NBA Finals MVP. So not born on U.S. soil, just the fifth. Can you name the other 4? I could only name 2 out of the 4.
Did Paul Gasol win one year?
No, he did not. So just the fifth non-born U.S. soil. So the furthest one back is in the mid-90s.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did Vlade Divac win one?
No, he did not. But in between the Jordan's Bulls, one team won 2 back-to-back titles. And I believe he also won league MVP, defensive player, and
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon is one. The other one,
Yao Ming never won a championship.
Nope. 2 of them were on the same team. That's the one that's going to throw people off because right now everyone's going to be like, huh? And they're going to forget that this one person won, this one guy won an MVP finals.
Ooh, we got Tony Parker.
That's the one that people forget.
Mm-hmm. And then Manu?
No. Good guess, though.
Yeah.
But that's where the trick is because it's not U.S. soil. The other one, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I forgot they won, and I think it was all the way back in 2011, 2012.
Dirk?
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other one, the final one is Tony Parker's, and you thought, Manu, you were in the right area, but it's his teammate. Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan was born out of
Virgin Islands.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Like, I thought, like, right away I got this one actually out of all the times, because rarely do I listen to Mike Greenberg in the morning or whatever else. Out of all the times I listen to him, I was actually driving and he's like, he goes, I just came across this stat and this is going to be a good trivia question that you're having with your, give it to your buddies at happy hour. And I was like, good for Greeny. This is a pretty good question. Yeah. Like, usually I'm like, oh God, he's just saying the same stuff over and over. But I was like, all right, Hakeem Olajuwon I got right away. Tim Duncan I knew. And then the Dirk one, I was like, oh, I should have known that. And then I was just like lost. And then the Tony Parker, I'm like, yep. I think I came up with, I had somebody else where I was like, no, now I even forget about it. So, no, it's a good trivia question to have. And it just shows the growing of the sport. Yeah. Anyway, all right. We're gonna take our second break. Emily says that she's gotta push it back like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna take our second break right now, and that way I'm not having to cut her short at any time after that. And we've got all of our duties done for the day of like what we need to do for ads and sponsors and whatnot. So we'll be right back. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us. We're local with Emily Van Buskirk.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
This is Julian Vandervelde, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Don't you feel so free out here on the lake?
Not as free as this soda.
Where'd you get free soda?
Casey's. Buy 4 fountain drinks, 5th one's free.
I love free.
Bought this jerky, got this free donut too. And these chips could win me a free Lee Brice concert here in our town.
With Casey's Summer of Freedom sweepstakes, the more you buy, the more you can win, including a free Lee Brice concert for your town. Casey's, here for good. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. For official rules, visit Casey's.com.
When you're ready to buy something, the first thing you do is go online. But buying a home is different. You've got loan applications, pre-approvals, competing offers, the list goes on. That's where a Realtor comes in. Realtors have expertise and local knowledge to give you a competitive edge that a search bar just can't. And in today's market, an edge is what you need. So when you're ready to buy a home, the first thing to do is make sure you have an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
What I am about to tell you is my opinion. It is not a statement of fact. I believe that the 49ers changed their minds on the decision between Mac Jones and Trey Lance somewhere deep into the process. I don't think this was all one big smokescreen. I don't think they got any benefit from doing it. I think they legitimately changed their minds. And as a consequence, they take Trey Lance instead of Mac Jones. I don't know this for certain, but if I had to bet money that mattered to me, I would bet that if Trey Lance had been available at 4, the Falcons would have taken him. That's what I think. I don't know it, but that's what I think. And that would have changed everything. Obviously, the draft falls the way the draft falls because quarterbacks went 1, 2, and 3, but not 4. I think Lance, when all was said and done, was the guy everybody wanted.
Greeny, weekdays 9 till 11 on ESPN 1170.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
There's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
The Max
Max Kellerman Show.
Did Floyd carry him? He didn't press for the knockout, but let me say something about Logan Paul and his brother Jake. They love boxing. They have passion for it. There's other ways for these guys to make money. They choose boxing, which is a tough road. So you have to really love it, which they do. They respect the sport. They never disrespect it by training as hard as they can, absorbing as much as they can, learning it, fighting as hard as they can and as well as they can, and then moving on to the next. And by the way, doing a great job promoting the sport and having people put their eyeballs on it. I don't know. I'm not mad at the Paul brothers for that. I'm not going to be mad at Floyd for making $50 to $100 million for an exhibition. Now, that's what it was, an exhibition. It was an exhibition. Floyd was exhibiting his boxing skills against a novice boxer who's much bigger than him.
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
There's nothing like a soccer ball finding the back of a net, and with BetMGM, you can win $100 when a goal is scored. You heard right. Sign up for the BetMGM app using code FOSTER100, and if your first wager is a $1 moneyline bet on Chicago Fire or DC United, you'll get $100 in free bets if either team records a goal. The opportunities to score big this season don't stop there. Try BetMGM's one-game parlay feature to make selections within a single MLS game, including team and player props. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code FOSTER100 to win $100 when you bet on Chicago Fire or DC United and either team scores a goal. Bet fearlessly on dozens of sports at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy! Go long!
No, I can't!
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike 3.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Shanae and Golick Jr., 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Okay. We're back here in the Hassel Castle, ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle for local. Adrian's in studio with me. We're going to give Emily Van Buskirk a call. Talk to her a little bit about what this means out in Oakland for the future of the Oakland Athletics, the city council voting, and the amends that they placed on there. And also we're going to talk to her about, I know she did set up a podcast for talking about the NIL, the name, image, and likeness, NCAA, and all the other absurdity that goes along with it, including up to 77-figure deals.
Hello.
Hello, Emily. You're on the air. It's me and Adrian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. Couldn't be a better time to talk to you. I know that you had an interview setting up about the NIL and the NCAA, and then we've got Saban just planting little seeds about the brand out there in down there in Alabama. So we were talking about it earlier, I said how crafty this man is by saying that, well, what do you know? Here's a quarterback who hasn't even thrown a pass for us, but he's making close to 7 figures, all based on our brand. And for people who don't get that, that is just a matter of him just saying, like, kids only make this money because you came to Alabama, and you should come too.
Well, we knew that the coaches were either going to embrace this NIL experience and schools would use it to their advantage to, show how they could help an athlete out, or they were going to fight against it like, Dabo Swinney and just be angry and upset and this isn't football and I'm going to quit. So I think Saban initially was not the biggest fan in the sense that he thought it would be a distraction. Like a lot of us are wondering how much it's going to distract players. But I think he's a good businessman at the same time, and he understands this as an opportunity to show athletes if they come to Alabama how, lucrative it could be for them in their personal lives. So he's a smart man. I would always listen to him in every matter, always, forever, to the end of time.
What is the majority? Are more coaches embracing this, or are they going away from it?
You know what's so funny is I'm going to Big Ten Media Day tonight, so I'll be there tomorrow. So I'm going to ask that question, although I'm sure they're so tired of hearing about it. But it's hard to really say because we're only so many weeks into this. And what's funny is I've been trying to interview athletes about their NIL, deals and partnerships they've made with companies and whatnot. And I found that even athletic departments at certain schools are staying away from it. So, for example, I requested an interview with an athlete, and usually, when you need to do that, you do it the right way. You go through the SID and you make sure that the school knows you're doing it, even if you're friends with the athlete, and that's the right way to do it. And this guy, the SID, was like, you don't even have to ask us because we're not in charge of their personal lives. So you can just reach out to them on social, and if they want to do your podcast, then great, they can do that. We have no say in it whatsoever. So that to me was crazy because that's like wild, wild west of reporting where you can just reach out to a guy on social media and be like, hey, come on my podcast, talk about your personal brand, and no one can stop you. It's crazy. So I don't know how schools are going to govern this. I've been trying to talk to a couple of compliance people that work in the compliance departments, and they're even reticent to come on the podcast because they've said it's so new. They have no idea. They're taking it day by day. But I do know that the players have to report, their deals to the compliance office so that they can make sure it's all above board. So that was interesting to learn.
So when you're at Big Ten Media Day, there used to be, and I don't know if it was lifted very much last year because of what happened with Iowa football and whatnot. And I know that he gave Coach Ferentz gave a lot more leeway to the athletes talking to the media, but he used to have a no media for freshmen. And it was because of Quad City resident Julian Vandervelde, who said he talked about his dislike for Iowa State, how much he doesn't like them. And from then on, and that was years ago, and from then on he said no more media for freshmen. So you can ask Coach Ferentz if he's lifted, any type of media bans or whatever else from them. So that is interesting because I know what you're talking about. You have to go through the SIDs, and now they're just like, man, it's a free-for-all, so get after it. Ask whoever you want.
It's wild. It's crazy. Here I am thinking I'm, following the rules, and the guy was like, no, we have nothing to do with it. Good luck. So I'm actually interested to see, the Iowa coach and talk to him because he strikes me as someone who would also be, I think it's the older school guys that are going to be a little more, reticent to embrace this because it does seem kind of, I don't want to say selfish is the right word, but it's very much a me mentality while these guys are so team driven and what's good for the program, what's good for the team. So it's going to be interesting seeing the older coaches reconcile this and kind of embrace it,
Can I ask you more about this? Because I know you've talked to some people. Do you think we're going to see more now? We're going to see more type of either celebrations, hairstyles, quotes, anything to kind of emphasize your brand from college athletes?
I think, the few guys that I have talked to, and I've only talked to college football players, which I hope to change because I want to talk to some female athletes as well. But the guys that I talked to, the one in particular that's coming on, his name is Will Ulmer. I recorded with him. He's a linebacker for Marshall. Part of his brand is his mullet, which is funny that you say that. Mm-hmm. He's a country music singer. That's kind of what started this whole thing is he plays shows, and now he can finally play under his own name and make money for it. So we talked a lot about that, and the mullet is a big part of his brand. So I do think we're going to start seeing more stylistic differences in players, and that also brings up the question, how much of that are coaches going to allow, and how much of that are they not going to have a choice about because they can't say no because it'll violate, the policy. So this is just part of the whole, we're figuring this out together. Everybody's trying to understand what's going on in athletic departments, and they have no idea. So they're just going, and they're interpreting the policy differently. That's the biggest thing I got from this is if you read through the policy in its entirety, some places have said, well, we're staying out of it completely because that's what it says in the writing. And then some are saying, well, like I set up the interview with Will Ulmer through the SID at Marshall because, he was part of it. So I don't really know how this is going to go. And the Tulane guys have even been different. So I think everybody's just figuring it out together. But I do think we'll start seeing players embrace a more unique brand individually, for sure.
So let's just you brought up Dabo.
Yeah.
Why does he hate fun? Because now he's even coming out and saying that he doesn't want to. He doesn't think there should be a playoff because there's not that many teams that are worthy of a national title recognition.
Well, you know what's funny about that is, and this is probably unpopular, but I've actually been a fan of the 4-team playoff in the past few years because I agree with him to some level. I'm a huge proponent of smaller teams, underdog teams, and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you do want to see the best competition in that playoff. And if you open it up too much, sometimes that can invite in, teams that on paper look really great but aren't going to show up at the game. So on that face level, I understand what he's saying there and the concern for like quality football in the playoff, which is what we all want. But I think Davo, the funny thing about Davo is all my interactions with him have been super fun. He literally helped me with a story about their DJ. We talked about music for 20 minutes. He is fun, but I think he just does not like change, and he likes the way things are. He wants them to continue to go that way, and I think he's just one of those guys that doesn't adapt to change well, and that's really what's making him seem like kind of a stick in the mud. But I have never seen more people be upset, about his comments about wanting to leave football because if this happens, like people were very triggered by that. So I think maybe he should just be careful about what he puts out there because it is painting him in a light that's not super favorable.
Yeah. Now, it's all about money, obviously, if they're speculating doing it in college football playoffs, because the college football playoffs doesn't work for the NCAA. It's not the NCAA college football playoffs. So, I mean, for years I've always said, like, this is going to expand because in the history of the NCAA, the original postseason tournament has never stayed with the original amount of teams. But this is not an NCAA thing. It's college football playoffs, and they'll figure out a way to make more money off it if they want to. Now, speaking of other things that are not any fun, how can the Big 12 get a taunting penalty for the horns down if you're playing Texas? Isn't that you're like, what if you're the first to do it and you get the taunting? You're like, nope, that's my brand. You can't taunt me for my brand.
And are they gonna like enforce this across all the conferences? Because I have seen Pac-12 players do the horns down even when they're not playing Texas. So my question is, are they going to monitor like all the games? And if they see someone do it in a different conference, do they get punished? Or is it only in Big 12?
It's only in Big 12. They're going to consider it a taunting thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think this was a matter of time, but it's also an interesting gimmick move by them, which I'm sure is not intended, but it made a huge like ripple in the media. And when this happened, that's all of a sudden what everyone was talking about. So if there's anyone back there in Big 12 that thought, hey, this might cause a stir, let's put it out there, that was genius, because all of a sudden the Big 12 is relevant and people are talking about it, albeit for this policy, but still they're being talked about all of a sudden. And it kind of goes with the new Texas, moniker with their new coach, and is Texas back, and is Sarkisian going to do all this? So I think marketing-wise, it was pretty dead on.
Well, to keep the Big 12 relevant?
I mean, to keep them, like, being talked about, like, whether you love it or hate it, the horns down, new policy, it's being talked about, and it's going to be talked about. And people are going to be watching the games because they want to see people get penalized. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
It's going to be something that keeps them in there. So I think that's a little bit of genius in a year when you're trying to, get into the playoff and get your teams up there. Like, it doesn't hurt having eyes on games.
Yeah, no. I ask, this whole NIL thing is just really interesting to me because I saw an article not too long ago, and if we were to put when Baker Mayfield was at Oklahoma into today's world, and when he went back to Texas Tech, and he wore that traitor shirt, so he was at Texas Tech first, and then he transferred to Oklahoma, and a bunch of kids made it was basically a silhouette of the state of Oklahoma, and it wrote traitor, and it was about him. So he had a buddy who went to Texas Tech still, sent him a shirt, and when they showed up on campus in Lubbock, right, he was wearing the shirt.
He wore it. Yeah.
What if he made that himself, made money off it? Is it taunting while he was walking into enemy territory? Is he automatically? Are they going to start with a 15-yard penalty?
That's a really good question because I'm not sure how you penalize the NIL policy stuff because it's separate. I don't know That's a question that you would ask a compliance director, and they would tell you they have no freaking idea.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you then. Send someone from Oklahoma, make a shirt right now, and it's got him. It's just a silhouette of him. Let's just say it's a D-back, but it's silhouette of him. It hits his number, and he's doing the horns down. He walks into Austin. Is that taunting because he's wearing a shirt that he makes money off of?
That's a really good question. This is a question that we should ask my buddy Sam Kahn, who works for, The Athletic, and he covers the Big 12. He might know the answer to that. I have no idea if you wear something that's your brand that has something that there's a taunting rule against, whether that's illegal. That might be a loophole that you found here, Jay.
I think it might be a loophole. Because you can't do it. I mean, you can't do anything. The Big 12 is just like, don't hurt Texas's feelings. They don't like it when you do the horns down. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you know what should hurt Texas's feelings? Not being good at football.
I don't know. You know what's crazy is I have to become a bit of a Texas fan now because two of my friends transferred there as coaches. The strength trainer, Tori Becton, who used to be at Cal, who is incredible. So people better beware. Texas strength training is about to be one of the best in the country, if it wasn't already, because he's just insane. And then my other buddy was the, special teams coach at Alabama, and now he's at Texas there with Sark. So their special teams game is about to be fire. So it's weird. Like, my instinct is I don't want to root for Texas, but now I kind of have to. So
I mean,
I'm in a bind.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like it's just one of those things. It's Texas is like, oh, they hired a new coach, and it was supposed to be Herman or whatever else, and it's
right.
And then because and then also you hear down like, oh, guess what? Every year it's the same, and I say this and I repeat myself. The Miami Hurricanes, they got their swagger back. Well, okay, and then they get their butts handed to them, and then it's like, oh, well, but they have a turnover chain. That's cool though, So
that was cool. Okay?
It was cool, but whoever, and then but now there are going to be a lot of things like that.
You got to back it up.
Yeah, you have to back
100%.
it up.
And I think, with Sark and what he's built there, it's going to be a little closer, to being more relevant. They definitely have a lot of swag, and Sark was really good no matter what happened with him, wherever, with his issues that he's now resolved. Like, he was always good with the players, and they really loved him when he was at USC and even before that at Washington. So I have no doubt that he's going to build things there that are great. He's surrounded with such great coaching staff. So I'm not going to doubt it, but it's just a matter of how he handles the pressure, because it's not overnight. They're not going to be back overnight. And that's what Texas alumni seem to think is the only resolution for this, is like, we have to find someone that'll build the program around in a year. Mm-hmm. That's not realistic. So how he handles the pressure is going to be everything in this year for Texas. So.
Okay, I'm going to make a switch on you here. Let's talk about what's going on in Oakland.
Oh, boy. This is all I talked about yesterday. It's pretty crazy.
So the city council votes 7-1 to get a new stadium for the Oakland Athletics, right?
Well, it's complicated. They voted on a term sheet yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, the whole thing with the stadium is it's actually called Howard Terminal, and it's not just a stadium. It's a whole, revitalization of the waterfront that's being proposed. So the stadium's actually a very small part of what Oakland's trying to do there. But for people that care about the A's, that's the only thing that matters, right, is this new waterfront ballpark.
Sure.
The biggest issue that the A's are having is that they don't have the money to pay for the off-site infrastructure. So, they've proposed they're going to pay for whatever's going to happen on site, right, which is normal. But there's a huge amount of infrastructure off-site, regarding the old freeway that's there. There's train tracks that are in use right next to it that need to be navigated across. I mean, there's a whole slew of issues beyond just being on an active port of Oakland. So they don't have the money for that. They're asking the city to put up the money. The city wants to make sure that they're doing certain things, when they build, before they do that. And so that's kind of where this gridlock's coming from. Yesterday, the vote did go well, but the A's said that Dave Kaval said that he did not see the amendments to the term sheet, although I have it on good authority that he had seen them prior to the meeting, and they didn't like what the city council proposed in the new term sheet. So now they're saying, well, we don't know if we like this agreement. So basically we're in the same place that we started before the meeting.
Great.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. I think when it first came out, because they were still voting when we were on the air yesterday, we were trying to pay attention to it, and I read a little bit about it in the afternoon, and it was basically the same thing you're saying. It was like, yeah, there's amendments to it, and the amends, and the A's just don't like the amends. And like what you're saying, you're on good authority, they knew about them, but now it's just a matter of like, well, we're going to have to look at it and see if it works for us. And yeah, like you said, it's just it's another stalemate. So
right, it is, and I don't know how much closer this is going to put them to building a ballpark, because the biggest thing for them right now is time. This has taken so much time. None of their projected, timelines have panned out. And like, yes, obviously you have to say COVID through a huge wrench, but also they're dealing with lawsuits that are a big issue. They tried to cut some corners when it came to fast tracking the ballpark, and now they're being sued, by certain people around the area that don't want the ballpark there, like dock workers unions and Schnitzer Steel, which is they're trying to build this ballpark next to a huge steel mill.
Wait.
Is crazy.
Hold on. Are you trying to tell me the A's try to cut corners?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's like, so crazy. The same guys who won't pay their minor league baseball players, and during COVID they said that they were just losing money hand over fist, and they can't. There's no way. Yeah, the A's are cutting corners. I'm shocked.
I know.
Shocked. I've only heard great things about this owner. So
if you followed the story, the saga, you would know that they tried to build in San Jose as well. A couple years back, and they did the exact same thing. They cut corners there and were denied, anything because they didn't do it the right way. So it has to be so frustrating, because my biggest concern is the fans. The fans don't understand, all of these minute things, and they're just seeing what Cavill puts out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating for me, and I want to shake him and say, this is not the ownership you think it is. And they're not looking out for you and for the season ticket holders and the dedicated people who want them to be rooted in Oakland. They're really not. So at the end of the day, they could have bought the Coliseum site, but they proposed way too low money to buy the other half from the city. They literally proposed $10 million less than it's worth. So when they say they can't build on the Coliseum, it's false. They can. They just don't want to pay the money to buy the other half. So there's actually a group right now called, I can't remember the exact name. Let me look. It's the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, and there's a lot of local celebrities. Mr. Fab, who's a rapper from Oakland, who's in it. I believe Marshawn Lynch is part of that group as well. They actually had a hearing with the city council right after the big meeting you were talking about, and the city council approved them to go into exclusive sale negotiations for half of the Coliseum site. So if this group were to purchase half the Coliseum site, they would own the city's half and the A's would own the other half. You would have to believe there's some sort of agreement they could come to revitalizing that ballpark. But that's not being talked about, because nobody wants to talk about anything but Howard Terminal and the waterfront ballpark.
Is MC Hammer in that group?
I'm not sure. There's a whole list of them on their website. I have to check. I'm not actually sure about that.
I'm just speculating, because if you say Oakland, you're talking about entertainers.
He might be. There's two groups. There's another group that Dave Stewart is backing,
okay,
and they're also in conversations about buying certain things. So there's a lot going on besides just the Howard Terminal, and it would behoove Oakland fans to pay attention to kind of all of that stuff instead of just this, Howard Terminal drama.
Emily, I know you got to get ready. You're flying out tonight to go to Indianapolis?
Yes, taking a red eye, heading to Indy, and then out to Kentucky for baseball, and then back to LA for Pac-12 Media Day. It's going to be a busy week.
That's exciting. And you just had another podcast drop, right?
Yes, I just finally got one up with the competitive eaters from the 4th of July hot dog eating contest. The guy who placed third overall ate 44 hot dogs. Nick Weary is on it. His fiance is the top world eater, Miki Sudo. She just gave birth to a baby, their baby. And so, we talked about which is harder, eating 48 and a half hot dogs or giving birth. So it was a very interesting podcast.
That is a good question.
It is a good question, and people will be surprised by the answer. So that you should go Sideline Fast, check it out, and listen to the episode.
Absolutely. And where can everyone follow you on social media?
My handle is Emilnem, EMILNEM. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to be doing a bunch of behind-the-scenes interviews at Big Ten Media Day and Pac-12 Media Day. So if you're ready for some college football, please give me a follow and check it out.
Absolutely. We will touch base with you soon. Have safe travels. Thank you so much for answering our phone call.
No problem. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take care. See you, my friend.
She always has great takes. I
She
love talking
knows,
to her. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's just you just sit back and just
let her go.
Yeah, and I was thinking about when I asked her to talk, and the last time we had her on, Adrian, and then you're like, I was like, oh, great questions or whatever else. You're like, oh no, and then someone else, and I was like, you know what? I don't really ask that much either.
Yeah.
I just let her go.
Just go.
Yeah, it's really just a text of like, here's what I want to talk about, and she's like, okay, and then, but yeah, she's awesome.
I
man.
had to throw one in this week.
It was great.
I
loved
couldn't
it,
give
though.
you.
Yeah.
I couldn't let you give me
No,
shit.
I thought it was great. Yeah, good show today. A lot of stuff going on, and we'll continue the rest of the week. You in tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
here.
All right. Yeah,
Why
well,
not?
good to know. We're gonna go, and then so we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Enjoy yourselves, Quad City. Stay safe and sanitized. We will see you tomorrow.